Hello, this is for February the 4th. Here is the verse, and as you can see, it's Philippians 4, 6 through 7. So I don't have much to say ahead of time of Philippians. It's found in the New Testament, I'm thinking. And this is the time after Jesus Christ has given his life and risen from the dead. So it's going to be words of wisdom, showing us how to live. You may be talking about spreading the message of God, but I'll get right into it and see what it says. Philippians 4. And the subject title is called Some Things to Do. That sounds very interesting. Let's see what things we should do. My dear brothers and sisters, I love you and I want to see you. You bring me joy and make me proud of you. Continue following the Lord as I have told you. Eudia and Syntyche, you both belong to the Lord, so please agree with each other. For this I make a special request to my friend who has served with me so faithfully. Help these women. They worked hard with me in telling people the good news, together with Clement and others who work with me. Their names are written in the book of life. Always be filled with joy in the Lord. I will say it again, be filled with joy. Let everyone see that you are gentle and kind. The Lord is coming soon. Don't worry about anything, but pray and ask God for everything you need, always giving thanks for what you have. And because you belong to Jesus Christ, God's peace will stand guard over all your thoughts and feelings. His peace can do this far better than our human mind. Brothers and sisters, continue to think about what is good and worthy of praise. Think about what is true and honorable and right and pure and beautiful and respected. And do what you learned and received from me, what I told you and what you saw me do. And the God who gives peace will be with you. So the summary of this is just some things to do. This is someone writing back to the disciples. They all split out to go all over the world to spread the message of God. And they would write letters back home to make sure that everybody was, straight or good. And in here, in this letter that was written back home, they're just saying, hey, remember to follow God. Be in agreement with each other. Don't let strife be there. Let peace. Many of my Bible videos, I tell you that God is a God of peace. He likes peace, and He does not like to be in conflict or, just a mess of problems. So you have to always be constantly looking around your surroundings, see what's disrupting the peace, also looking within yourself. Evil likes to come to you through your thoughts and tries to disrupt your peace. And if he can at least do that, he might not be able to encourage you enough to go out and do a murder or something like that, something that's just extremely bad. But if he can throw your peace out, he feels like he's at least doing something good because he knows that God doesn't want to exist around a place of worry. So constantly, not only around your surroundings, you have to always look in yourself and say, what am I not at peace at? Little things can get you disrupted. Like, is there a problem, in your household? Is there a problem at work? I mean, all kind of problems can come from everywhere. Is there a shortage in money where you got to get worried now? Um, is there thoughts within you thinking that your spouse is being unfaithful or cheating or, I mean, just all these worry problems. All of these are tactics of evil trying to come to you and put these thoughts in there, get you worried about it. And if you think about it, you have no peace whatsoever. At some point, you have to realize I cannot stay worrying about these things. I put all these things in God's hands. And whatever is going on, whether good or bad, if it actually is something that I need to worry about, I'm not going to be worried. I'm going to have the peace of God because that's when God can come in and work a thing in my life. I can't sit here and be focused on the situation over and over again. No, I'm going to live my life and know that God has my back and can support me. God has not let you down. That's why you're still alive now. So He won't let you down even in the worries of problems that you have. So that's what you have to do. Look inside yourself right now. First of all, look on the outside of yourself. Look who's causing conflict and problems. And Sometimes if it's problems that are threatening your life or problems that are threatening your health, then you need to back away from that person. So usually if you're in a situation like especially if you're in a dedicated marriage or something like that, if you're with that person and they're not threatening your health by cheating or anything like that, or your life by violence or anything like that, then you've already made that partnership to join with that person for the rest of your life. So you stick in there, and whatever thoughts you're having or whatever problems are on the outside, you have to address it. You always have to address the problem or else it continues. And that the same thing goes for if you're in a relationship and you have to leave because the person is cheating on you or abusing you. If you just stay in that situation and make no moves to say this has got to end, it will never end because it seems like you're approving of it. So if you're in a bad relationship, you escape any way you can. But if you're in a relationship and there's no abuse and there's no cheating and you're just having regular problems, whether it be finance or anything, you have to still address those things and to, sit down with each other, talk about it, say, hey, these problems are on the table. They keep us worried. They keep us in a bad mood. They keep us arguing at each other's throats. And these are petty subjects. People go through more serious things than this and they're still together, and we have the audacity to sit here and because we're going through this little stuff, we're being bad to each other, we're being negative to each other. This has got to stop because we can't live like that. So it starts off with talking about it. For the problems that exist outside of yourself, you go to the person, you address the problem, and you try to get it resolved as best as possible, making the ultimate goal to get to a point where you're at peace with each other, where every time you see each other, you're not rolling your eyes or you don't have a bad attitude with each other, etc. Now for the issues that lie within yourself, you can easily fix these because it's yourself. And how do you do that? You identify what's the problem. Think about what's negative, what's in your mind, what keeps you worried. Okay, is it because you don't know if you're going to get that bill paid next week? Well, this is how you squash a thought like that. You tell yourself God has always taken care of you, and no matter what occurs from this bill not being paid, something's going to happen. You start making plans like, should I pick another job up? Should I start selling something real quick? Not, of course, not your body or anything, but something godly. Create a product and then go out in the streets and sell it for the amount that you need for this month or whatever. Just start thinking of ideas. Worry blocks the ability to come up with ideas because all you're doing is focusing on that problem. So you don't get anything resolved. You just sit there in a pit full of worry and nothing happens good for you. You're just worried and stressed out. So that was a small example. There are other examples of these are the regular worries of humans: shortage of money, relationship problems. In a relationship, in these days and age, in this day and age, you don't know, you know, who your spouse is. Sometimes you don't know the sneaky things they do behind your back, especially if they have sneaky tendencies or actions. So instead of worrying yourself, unless you take steps to get real proof on what your spouse is doing, it doesn't make any sense to go every single day worrying, is this person cheating on me? Are they doing that? If you gotta worry yourself to death like that, that also is affecting your health. Either you're gonna have to buck up and this day to say, I have to have faith in this relationship that I got. I have to have um the mindset that I'm going to be faithful in this relationship and I'm going to have faith in the other person to be faithful too. Because you can't go day in and day out. It kills you slowly if you're thinking, oh, my wife is out there cheating, my husband's out there cheating, they're being deceitful behind my back. If you haven't gotten the proof or if you have no plans to get the proof by any means necessary, then just drop the thought and clear that out of yourself. Say, God, I put it in your hands. You know that I'm being the best person in this relationship. I'm being faithful. And you can only see the other side of the other person. And you are the one who will be able to direct their steps into showing me that they are faithful or to get me out of this relationship if they aren't faithful. What other problems can we think of? So there's relationship problems, of course. There's financial problems. I mean, so many problems. But ultimately, all you got to do is lean on God and say, God, I trust you. I'm no longer going to worry. And when you stop worrying, that creates a peace in you that kicks out evil and evil thoughts and evil mindsets and the principles of evil. And instead, where there is no evil, that means there's the presence of God. So God will definitely exist in you when there's peace in you, when there's love. Pour out love as much as you can. Think of God, praise God in your spirit and your heart. And definitely that attracts the goodness to come into your life and pushes out all kind of evil things. No matter, and it may take some time, months, sometimes even years. But as long as you are practicing into making it a habit, it'll eventually occur. So let's see what else we can pick out of this. The title again was called Some Things to Do. It's just giving advice to believers on how to live. And this person is saying, agree with each other, be in agreement. Why is he saying that? Because agreement brings peace. If you're having an argument with everything and everyone, that doesn't make sense. It's not peaceful. God doesn't like it. And he backs away from that kind of environment. Invite God in by being at peace with each other. Also it says, help people who are serving faithfully. Also it goes on to say, always be filled with joy in the Lord. I mean, it's just telling you godly principles, love, peace, joy. Those things, faith, hope, those things are the things of God. And the more you put those in your life purposefully, the more you are attracting God into your life to bring blessings and to satisfy all your needs. If you're not working in the things of God, of course you're gonna have lack here, lack there. I mean, when you are relying 100% on God, you give God the rights to come in and change your world around. As long as you're in worry, you're letting evil be there. You're in worry. So it's common sense, but we don't get the picture of it. If we're sitting here feeding off the negativities of the world, the evil, the worry, the problems, the conflicts, the strife, all that, we're creating an atmosphere, an environment of evil. But when we start kicking that stuff out and saying, oh, what am I thinking about today? I have a bad attitude? No, I'm going to shape up. I have a problem with somebody? That's petty. I don't have to worry about that. I have bills to pay and I can't pay them. I'm going to have faith in God. I mean, when we start kicking out evil out of our existence, in our atmosphere, in our mindset, that gives God the full reins in our life. He is now our God instead of evil being our God. So definitely, if you want to even test God, in the Bible it says all over the place, test God. God is true in what he says, and he will never let you fall. Something will pop up where good things will happen for you if you just kick out the negativities of your life. If you start feeding off the goodness that God wants you to feed off of, he's going to be there because you're inviting him there. You're allowing him to be there. But God's a good God, a holy God, and being holy, he cannot exist in a problematic situation where your mind is full of evil, your house is full of evil, your whole environment's full of evil, negativity. So definitely test God today. Say, look, I have struggled with my bills too long. I've struggled with my relationships too long. I've tried to do all these things with my mental, with my own strength and power. I'm no longer going to think the way that I automatically feel. What instead I'm going to do is trust in God. I'm going to kick out all these evil thoughts. I'm going to settle scores, or I'm going to make peace with people I have problems with, especially in my own household. And I'm just going to live in peace. And in that peace, God's going to live with me, and he's going to come and correct every wrong situation. I'm going to be financially blessed. I'm going to have great relationships. I mean, it's going to be the life that God wants me to live, full of peace, love, hope, kindness, forgiveness, faith, hope, all those things. So it goes on and saying, continue to think about what is good and worthy of praise. Think about what is true and honorable and right and pure and beautiful and respected. And do what you learned and received from me, what I told you, and what you saw me do. And the God who gives peace will be with you. And that's how it ends. So let me talk about the specific verse, which was Philippians 4:6-7. Don't worry about anything, but pray and ask God for everything you need. Always giving thanks for what you have. And because you belong to Jesus Christ, God's peace will stand guard over all your thoughts and feelings. His peace can do this far better than our human minds. So you can even feed off that word. That whole section right there is just the whole mind clearing, life clearing word that can change your life. If you read that over and over again and you feed off of it, I mean, as soon as you wake up in the day, if you just wake up, don't worry about anything. Talking to yourself, don't worry about anything. Pray and ask God for everything you need. Always give thanks for what you have. I belong to Jesus Christ. God's peace will stand guard over me and my thoughts and my feelings. His peace can do this far better than my human mind. You read that, I mean, just constantly. Every time worry tries to creep in, that's the renewing of your mind. Instead of just sitting there and let evil thoughts creeping in about how you're doing so bad, how you'll never get out of this hole, you'll never do good. You snap. As soon as you feel those thoughts come in, you snap to this section, Philippians 4:6-7, and you read that, and you read it with confidence and power, and you just have faith in it, and watch God's word work into your life. So that's something we can definitely feed off of. Start with that one verse and you can change your whole life. Guaranteed. God guarantees it. God's not a man that he should lie. So whatever he puts in his word, he puts it there so you can know. Feed off of my word. Put this in you. Make it a habit of your life and watch how I take control of your life. Watch how I make changes in your life where you can just step back and all you can say is that had to be God. And you're standing there in awe looking at your life like, I used to be this. You hear the story from a lot of Christians where they have a big story where they say, I used to do this or I used to be this, but now God came in and changed my life. This is what the kind of thing they did. This is the kind of thing I did. You feed off God's word. You find a verse that applies to your life. Everybody has worries or anxieties or the potential to have worries and anxieties in their life because there's so many problems that pop up. But this is definitely a worry canceling verse to tell yourself don't worry about anything and continue knowing that God is your peace and will stand guard over you. So that is the word of the day. I will go ahead into today's actual message, which is February the 5th is today. So check it out after this message and have a good night.